If you identify as a highly sensitive person or an empath, what I call a sensitive soul, and you consistently and constantly say, your life is hard, I want you to ask yourself, what do you think you're bringing into your life? Okay. Sorry, they're doing yard work around here. This is something that I just had to come on and start off this video, at least right here, and I'll finish the rest at my house. But when you are a sensitive soul, most of us don't say, life is so easy. Life is just, wow, it's easy, right? We don't go there. We go with life is hard AF. And that is the belief that we live in, that life as a sensitive soul is hard AF. And look, I get it because it's not easy. I mean, like somebody will see something on the news and they'll be like, ugh, my heart, like that hurt. And you're over there crying about it for days. I mean, like when something tragic happens in this world, I can't watch the news. It's why I don't watch the news because it's too hard for me. Because I literally sit and cry about it for weeks. So as a sensitive soul, we often say that life is hard. It is harder. And rightfully so, because life isn't easier as a sensitive soul. You were also born with this gift. Yes, I do believe that every sensitive person is born with this and it lies dormant most of the time, but you were born with this. So, as a life as a sensitive soul, if you continue to believe that life is harder, what do you think is going to continue to show up in your life? So, I'm going to finish the rest of this video inside.
Okay, so I'm back inside and you can probably hear me better. So it might seem a little wonky going from like inside to outside, but something I'm doing right now is whenever I feel that there is something I need to share, I'm going to share it based on instead of doing all this research and just posting things that just really don't feel aligned. I feel like there's a reason why things come into my reality. This came to me while I was walking because it's something that's meant to be shared with the world. And for too long, instead, I pushed it down and I would attempt to do something else like scripted versus with this free flow. So let's get into it. If you are new here, my name is Ginger. Welcome to Sensitivity Uncaged. And this is where we talk about how we can break free from these shackles that feel like they keep us tied to this three-dimensional world and exhausted and overwhelmed. And how can we break free from it? And one of the things that we are talking about is that belief that as a highly sensitive person or an empath or both, as a sensitive soul, life is hard. And look, it is. You were born into this existence as a in this three-dimensional world with this gift for a reason. You chose this life for a reason. And this life, you chose this life as a soul in a different place. You chose this life as a soul to come here as a sensitive soul and to live these experiences that are, yes, really hard. I am not saying it is easy. Life as a sensitive soul is freaking harder than what other people experience. You look at everybody else and their life seems so easy and flowy, and you're wondering why the hell is it so damn hard for you? Why? Why is it so hard? And that is because oftentimes, as a sensitive soul, we have taught ourselves and we have internalized that belief that life is hard for me. I have experienced this. I still struggle. Something right now, like life is hard financially for me. That is something that I have always dealt with limiting beliefs and really working hard to break through some of these money limiting beliefs that I have because it is something I have taught myself from a very, very young age, generationally, past lives, all the things. So as a sensitive soul, again, we are coming back into this existence in this world to experience these things, these tribulations to teach us. So that belief is ingrained in us, right? That life as a highly sensitive person is hard. And that is because life continues to throw things at us that feel hard. And again, we feel everything magnetized. So, like, I mean, you feel an emotion. It's not just like, oh, I feel sad. It's sad times 4 billion. And you're wondering why, well, everybody else can get over it. And I want to climb under a rock and wither away because I am so exhausted by life. And I'm exhausted by this feeling. And I'm exhausted by the stress that it's eating at every part of my body. It does. It eats at every part of your body. Gosh, it's exhausting. So let's start first off building the awareness of when you say life is hard as a highly sensitive person, let's just start off with the very first thing that you have to do awareness. Awareness of being a sensitive person. I've got my little board. I'm going to write these things down. And as a teacher for many, many years, my writing was never given praise by my students. So I hope y'all like it. But I like using my board as my because it's like my teacher thing. Okay, so awareness. One, give yourself some grace and give yourself some love for feeling things on a whole different level than most people don't feel. Let's take an example. So you go out with some girls and you feel like this weird awkwardness between maybe you and one girl, maybe you and all the girls. I don't know. So sometimes it was me and all the girls. And you just feel like there is something like they're talking about you, or if you get up to go to the bathroom, there's something weird that's happening and you are hyper aware of that. And you feel like, oh my gosh, all these emotions around it, right? One, have the awareness that you pick up on things more than others. Because what do you have? You have a nervous system that is wired differently. It is wired where you experience things in a more expansive way. So it also means that you experience things in a way that feels like you are always in fight flight. Your nervous system is always in survival mode. It feels exhausting. So whenever these girls are talking and you feel like they are talking about you, you go into fight, flight, freeze. You go into survival mode. Your nervous system is picking up on that, and then that expansion just continues throughout your body. And then what I always talk about, and then that frequency is brought into your body and it makes it even harder. Not just your nervous system. If you follow therapists or psychologists or anybody that talks about sensitivity, they're going to talk about the nervous system, but the energy is never brought into play here. Your energy you are going to expand to that frequency, that expansion of the frequency of life is hard. They're talking about me. See, there we go. The world gave me another example. There's an example right there. So damn it. Life is hard and they don't like me and I'm done. Life is hard as a highly sensitive person. Do you see that circle? And really, it may boil down for a lot of HSPs is that you just don't feel safe. Those girls talking about you and you feel that feeling and you walk away and go to the bathroom and you don't feel safe, right? That's what it boils down to. So nervous system, boom, starts to react. Frequency and energy, boom, starts to react. So what I want you to start doing is having that awareness. Have the awareness of it, like, oh, I am experiencing this. Naming it brings the power back onto you. You feel like, oh, I've got some power back here. I am aware that I am hypersensitive to these things. I experience it. So for me, when that kind of stuff happens in rooms, I know whether or not, because I'm an empath and I have the ability to feel if somebody likes my energy or doesn't like my energy, I know. And then for me, the awareness is I'm probably not going to be around that person again. My energy doesn't lie. There is something that is telling me that I'm shrinking. And if I'm shrinking, it means I'm not being expansive, which means that I probably shouldn't be around them. So, and I don't want my nervous system to be reacting constantly around people that I don't feel comfortable around. That's why I say number one, awareness. Like my nervous system is in fight, flight, freeze. My nervous system is experiencing that survival. I am feeling my energy shrink, my frequency shrink. Boom, something has to change. I'm feeling very trapped in by everything. I think I'm going to need a different spot. We just moved into this house, so I'm trying to find my spot to do videos. Okay, so awareness. Once we start to have the awareness, again, it gives you that ability to be able to say, okay, I experience things differently than others. Get it? Well, there goes my cat. See it? And then I can choose how I react or how I respond. What I want you to start getting to do is responding. The second one, simple, again, not easy to go into immediately whenever you are really overwhelmed. The more practice you do, the easier this will get. Breath work. Your breath is life force energy. So when you're breathing in prana, life force, you are connecting to your soul, connecting to your heart. So As simple as it is, and a lot of times this is what I teach my clients, put your hand on your heart, put both on your heart, just breathe it in, and I am safe. I am safe. Something that I really like to do is in my day with doing this, I'll put one hand on my heart chakra, okay, another that's on my solar plexus, depending upon how I'm feeling that day, my solar plexus or my sacral, and I am going to breathe in and I'm going to say I am safe. I'm connecting. So I'm ending my day, reminding my nervous system I am safe. This is also the reason why, going into number 3, rituals. Okay. And you might be like, what do you mean by rituals? Are we doing like witchcraft here? I mean, maybe. Yet, I'm not diving into witchcraft. I am diving into what are you doing on a daily basis to get your nervous system into safety, to get it out of fight, flight, freeze. So you can understand when that fight, flight, freeze. I'm in survival mode. I'm in, frequency overload. I am in energetic overload. When this all starts to happen, it'll never get easier to move out of that state if you never learn how to do any of these things. So you can continue to do the exact same thing over and over again, have the same reactions, and live life as hard. We can start to shift that belief by doing certain things of having the awareness, doing breath work, rituals. So rituals would be starting your day with 5 minutes of quiet time. And I'm going to say this, and you're not going to like it, but every sensitive soul out there should be doing some type of quiet time in the morning. Until, and I'm not saying you have to do the rest of your life. I mean, I do, but at least until you can start to get to some safety, at least until you can start to understand what does it even freaking feel like to not live in chaos. If you've never learned how to bring that down, it is never going to shift. So, rituals, what are you doing throughout your day? Are you taking little mini breaks? Are you working at the desk and then getting up and walking? Are you petting your dog in between if you are home? Are you giving yourself time? Are you doing quiet time in the morning? Doing your breath work at the end of the night? I am safe. I am safe. It just ties me back to all the beliefs that I struggle with and reminds me that I am safe. Okay? Awareness, breath work, rituals. Let's talk about energy movement. Doing something that moves energy. And maybe that's even just getting up and shaking. Move your body. Embodiment movement, that's also something else. Embodiment, getting into your body. We'll come back to that, but I'm going to put it right here. Okay. But I want you to get into your body. Sensitive souls should be doing some type of yoga, Pilates, but also big ass movements to get all that energy out of your freaking body. You could go outside and do a dang sprint and move that energy. Have the intention. I am moving this energy out of my body. Boom. Go and lift something like a heavy weight with somebody who knows how to teach you how to do heavy weights. Do something that moves the energy. And I mean, breath work is going to move the energy, but I also want you to do things that are going to move it, like Reiki. Get into your body with embodiment practices. Move your body, dance, get into it. Start recognizing what are you feeling? Where is it coming from? You are never going to understand your emotions if you don't ever allow yourself to feel them. And yeah, it's scary because again, you already feel them at a magnified level. This is the difference. You feel them, but you're not allowing yourself to feel and express them. So what happens? Your energy gets stuck, your frequency gets stuck, your everything feels stuck, and you live in survival mode. You live in life is hard as an HSP. So what we are doing is breaking that belief that life is hard by doing these practices. Next one, mirror back. What do I mean by that? I want you to mirror back what you want out of your life. If you want quiet in your house and you have a baby, take out all the damn toys that are loud. Even if your baby likes them, I'm sorry, you can figure out other toys. So that way your house represents what you want in your nervous system. Quiet, calm. So mirror back what it is you want. If you want your social media feed to be about positive people, get rid of the people that suck on your feed. Period. End of statement. So mirror back what you want in your life. Mirror it back to yourself by literally asking yourself, what do I want? And I want to experience that in my life. So if your house is dirty, clean it. Because a clean environment is going to feel less stressful. Mirror back what you want. Mirror it back to you. You're shifting these thoughts. That goes into the next one, those micro shifts. When you have that thought of life is hard, well, overall, is life hard or was life hard in that moment? And can you look at other moments throughout the day that then shifts that thought so you can have that moment of like, yes, it was hard in that moment, yet here is a moment that wasn't so hard. Micro evidence of, okay, wow, yes, life was hard in this moment, but then I had this also, this other moment that wasn't so hard. So that is giving your subconscious mind micro evidence that life doesn't always have to be hard because we're living most of our life through our subconscious. So whether you outright say that life is hard, but you're feeling it, your subconscious has taught yourself that life is hard as a highly sensitive soul. So give yourself that evidential support to show yourself and start teaching your subconscious mind that it doesn't have to be that hard. Somebody smiled at me. Somebody opened the door for me. I don't know, I found $10. Find that evidential support to help. Last one. I think so. Language. Listen to how you speak to yourself. How do you speak to yourself? Do you speak to yourself that life is hard? And when you say that, how can you start to shift those thoughts? So when you say things over and over again, you are teaching yourself that this is what your life is. And that is a belief. A belief is something that you just a thought that you think over and over and over again until you believe it as a complete and utter truth. But it's probably not a truth for somebody else. So it's not a truth, a universal truth. So if it's not a universal truth, can you shift it? Yes, you can. So start to shift that language. Shift the language in how you speak to yourself. And again, give yourself grace. Like, look, yeah, it is harder to live as a highly sensitive person, but it doesn't mean that life always has to be hard. It doesn't mean it has to be an absolute. It does mean that I have to work a little bit harder to find that peace, to find that nervous system reset, to find what works. And I'm not saying you have to do all of these, guys. Pick one. Don't do all. I like to give you lots of tools, but it does not mean you need to be doing all of them. For God's sakes, please don't do all of them. Do one and try it for a month and see if it works. If it doesn't, cool. Okay, move on. I will say the one that you have to do, no matter what, is start with the awareness. No matter what, you have to start with the awareness. Once you get your nervous system regulated and you're not living in that fight, flight, freeze, you're not living in the red zone where you're constantly anxious, overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out. When you start to live in a different space, your energy, your frequency, everything changes. You start to attract the people that are supposed to be in your life, the experiences that you're supposed to have in your life, the opportunities. Everything starts changing. Don't give up. I'm losing my voice. Don't give up. Don't give up and just say, I'm just going to stop life and go and hide. Don't. Because the world needs light workers right now. The world needs you. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, to help you realize that there are tools and things out there to help you expand your frequency, help you to shift that frequency. So try some of these out. Let me know how it works. I will say if you're struggling with rituals, I have an awesome ritual product that I'll connect down below. But I also have a really good free resource that goes into grounding exercises, some rituals in there. So if you want to dip your toe in, I'll link that free resource and let me know if you're liking this. Like, this is coming from the heart. I'm not doing scripted videos. I am just talking off the cuff what comes to me, because I feel like if it comes to me, there is a reason I'm supposed to share it. So I'm sharing it. I'm barely even ready. I don't even care anymore. I'm just coming out here showing up because there's a reason I'm supposed to show up. There's a reason you are supposed to show up. Don't forget that. There's a reason you were put on this planet, and it wasn't to freaking hide. It was to rise up. Let's break through these shackles. I know you can. Sending you so much light, love, and beautiful energy. Have a great day, y'all.